All right, everybody. This is the first on the podcast. We have a live. I don't want to just call it drawing, but you are drawing. Why don't you tell everyone who you are, man?
You can call it a doodle. You can call it whatever you want. It's Gabe Weis. I'm founder of the Stoics and artist here in Web3.
I love it. Let's take a quick pan at our sneakers here for a second. So he's rocking his own originals, as I would assume here. I'm rocking Frankie Zombie, so shout out to Frankie Zombie. How long have you been drawing for? I'm assuming since you were a kid.
Yeah, little kid. I just turned 42, so...
You're a big kid.
Big kid now. That's about exactly right. But 30 years at least of drawing.
Is it always a passion? Like, were your parents supportive of it? Was it something that you nurtured when you were young, or something that came later in life?
It was more of like a compulsion, like almost like a need. I never remotely thought I'd make it as an artist, so I was working as a community organizer, and then just drew every day, painted every day, and then kind of miracles happen.
Now, is every piece that you create unique when you draw it?
Yeah. I mean, it's stream of consciousness, so like they might look somewhat similar, but they can't be exactly the same because like it's not.
Let's see what you're feeling right now. So, inspiration comes from everywhere. Conversations. Now, talk to us a little bit about when did the switch go off where you're like, wow, my drawings are pretty cool. I'm hearing about these things called NFTs. I really don't know what they are. Tell us about your Web3 journey.
So my buddy Eddie Gangland, he's an artist here in the space, friend of mine. Yeah. He lived in the Bay, and like we were talking about doing a collab, and then the pandemic hit, so like we couldn't get together to paint and do a collab. And then I heard about Micah Johnson doing a $1.3 million NFT sale.
And you're like, whoa, 1 point. And you're like, hold up.
Yeah, pretty much that probably was an exact quote of me. Like, whoa, hold up. So Eddie posted on Instagram that he was doing NFTs. He was like, hey, that collab you wanted to do, let's make that an NFT. And then we sold the first one, and kind of the rest like was magic.
It was also timing too, right? Like it was at
February 2021.
I mean, it was the NFT winter in a good way there. But what was one of those, like? And listen, things started flowing in. What was one of those hard lessons that you learned early on about the space, about the people in it, about some of the not so good people?
Honestly,
it's important to talk about. It's Mental Health Month, right? And I think it's important. And we always talk about the good stuff of NFTs, but there's some tough parts.
I've kind of avoided the very rich top end collectors and done more like editions at lower price so that no one kind of owned me. Yeah, like I feel like some people like are so like beholden to like 2 to 3 collectors, and my whole thing was early on is like make sure not to be total like dependent on 2 or 3 people. So I just saw them kind of getting weird with artists, like some of my friends where they're like, you can only put out this many or yada yada.
Right, they're trying to limit it from a monetary standpoint. But the other part, as we all know, is a community. What was one of the more beautiful elements that came out of your organic community of friends, fans, followers?
So, I mean, so many things. Early on, we did ranch with on Clubhouse and raised a bunch of money for someone with cancer. I don't know. I've raised a ton of money as part of this, and so like I love giving back. I did 20 years of community organizing, so like my whole thing is like, how do you give back?
How do you bring people? How do you bring people together? But it's interesting, and I think it gets to a point where that's almost a buzzword with any of these projects. They talk about the community, but like, how many communities could people be in? Like, how many is too many?
I mean, we're at about 10,000 too many right now.
I mean, how many communities should people be involved in? Like, they're in too many projects.
I think 3. Maybe 4, but after that, it's just hard to stay in the loop.
What attracts you to the FRENS crew here? What brought you into this space?
I've always been a big fan of Gary way before NFTs. I just like I kind of like his attitude towards life, to be honest.
Yeah.
So anything that was like people that also liked Gary V just felt like inherently like probably a little bit more aligned with the stuff I'm into.
What's your hot take on Beeple? You a fan of Beeple?
always treated me very well. I think my hot take is like, honest to God, is like, don't yuck anyone's yum.
Don't yuck anyone's yum. I want to remember that one out there.
So it's like, it's not my favorite art, but I respect very much what he's done for the space.
I mean, he's giving it awareness. He's giving it eyeballs, and he's polarizing to the point where he's bringing attention to it. And then you think about it from a monetization, from a creator standpoint. I mean, he has the biggest sale to date. Correct me if I'm wrong. And you think about that, and it enables everyday artists to find new audiences to reach and monetize their brands.
Yeah, which goes back to why, like, you can say whatever, but as far as I'm concerned, he's been a net plus for NFTs and Web3.
I love it. And last but not least, what excites you the most about this space coming up?
I really like this idea of a bunch of artists being empowered all over the world. So like I've kind of said, if you get a bunch of people like me with the resources to do stuff, like, I'm a real change agent. Like, it gets scary once I become a multi-millionaire and can do billboards wherever I want, or
that's what it's all about.
Stuff. So to me, what excites me is just a bunch of creators actually doing well for once.
I love it, Gabe. And where could folks find you? Where could they connect? Where could they learn more?
Gabriel J. Weiss, Weis, just one S, on Twitter, or Gabe_Weiss on Instagram.
Awesome. Now let's see him finish this up here. And that's what it's all about, folks. Gabe Weis, the man, the myth, the legend at VCon.